We see more and more people's homes flooding every year, yes. This is a severe problem, and it's only going to get worse, and it's only going to be felt disproportionately more in those areas that are non-white and lower income.
Now, at the bottom of the hour, Chicago was hit hard by severe storms at least twice this past summer.
Storms so severe, in fact, that the city and Cook County declared the affected neighborhoods disaster areas after seeing how much flooding was caused.
In tonight's special report, Unit 32's Dane Placco takes a look at why those floods were so bad and what the city is doing to prevent future flooding.
I'm losing everything. I'm not looking for sympathy or compassion, but I just need somebody to show that they care about us here in Gage Park.
Sharon Renee Parrish nearly in tears after a massive flood on the southwest side in late August, on the heels of another catastrophic flood in the same area in July.
It's like a nightmare, a never-ending nightmare.
I had raw sewage in my basement.
Danita Smith of Marquette Park showed us pictures of her basement, another double victim of last summer's 1-2 punch.
Even as being as commissioner, my basement flooded during the rain, so I get it.
Chicago Water Department Commissioner Randy Connor says he can sympathize with frustrated residents after the double deluge. And if it seems Chicago is experiencing more intense flooding events, Connor says there's a reason.
Anybody who does not believe that climate change is real, it really is, because we're seeing it more and more every day because of the amount of rain that we're getting and the severity of the storms.
Connor says both storms this summer, called extreme rainfall events, are good examples.
And the chance for some strong storms and flooding continues tonight.
A flood watch is in effect right now.
On July 25th, what meteorologists call a 1,000-year storm brought more than 5.5 inches of rain in just 2 hours in a tight corridor that crossed Chicago's southwest side. Then, on August 16th, it happened again.
60+ mile-per-hour winds, some heavy rains, some flash flooding that occurred earlier.
More than 6 inches of rain fell in nearly the same location over a 24-hour period. At one point, the rain falling at 4.5 inches an hour. Fox Chicago's Unit 32 obtained records through a Freedom of Information request showing the city received more than 2,000 reports of basement flooding from the July storm and nearly 7,000 calls to Chicago's 311 service to report basement flooding in August. After reviewing the damage, the city's Office of Emergency Management said the storms destroyed at least 143 homes and damaged about 6,000.
It just overwhelms the system, and again, the system is designed to only hold so much water, and once the system gets to capacity, the water has to go somewhere.
Connor says much of Chicago's sewer system, which handles both stormwater and sewer water, was built over a century ago and simply isn't equipped to handle these new intense storms.
So knowing this is the new normal, what do you do?
Well, so we're doing a lot of things, right? So we're piloting a bunch of different things moving forward. We're going to be doing some grid sewer cleaning, which will actually help the system a lot more. We're also doing a pilot program for what we're calling some storage tanks.
Among those fixes, replacing old sewer pipes that are as small as 15 inches in diameter, with new pipes as large as 48 inches wide. But it's slow work. The city plans to replace 6 miles of sewer lines this year, 9 miles next year, in a system that includes thousands of miles of sewer lines. So how does the city decide which pipes to replace?
We take a look at the age of the main itself, and we also look at the break history or look at how many times it's collapsed.
It's only going to continue to get worse. If we don't address this now and head on with a holistic approach.
IIT political science professor Matthew Shapiro heads the university's Stormwater Infrastructure Project, a group of students and academics studying Chicago's flooding problems. We asked them to look at the 311 calls we obtained from last summer's separate flood events, and they told us it confirms a pattern of underserved communities being hit the hardest.
Disparities shows the Hispanic and Latino communities and also the African American communities are vulnerable from these flood events.
They also told us these communities have a natural risk when it comes to flooding because of the city's topography.
The natural drainage pattern of the city goes from different parts of town all towards the I&M Canal in the southwest part. So as water moves from one part of town more quickly, it can end up in the southwest part of town more quickly, and therefore they have more issues with flooding there.
But Chicago's water commissioner says these newly highly localized and intense rain systems don't discriminate.
When you talk about underserved areas, I think that's a misnomer because it all depends on how old the system is. You have parts of the city where the system is back from the 1800s that never experienced flooding, like the west side and the south side. But then you have parts of the city where the system is from the late 1900s, early 2000s that are experiencing flooding.
The holistic approach Shapiro and his team say needs to happen means not only making improvements below ground, like replacing sewer lines and water storage basins, but also making some improvements above ground.
Some alleys have pavers, some have sewer pipes and restrictors to prevent the water from overcharging the sewer system. Some have both.
The Green Alley program started in 2007. 50 alley projects each year spread across 50 wards.
So the alleys are selected by aldermen each year. There's a capital bond program to select one alley per ward through that. Green alleys can also be built with aldermanic menu funds.
While Shapiro and his team say green alleys are an important part to helping reducing flooding in Chicago, they do have a concern about where they are being built.
These, we found, have been disproportionately distributed, not necessarily one per ward, but it's haphazard at best.
Unit 32 looked at the location of the city's nearly 500 green alleys and found the 40th ward on the north side has the most, 35. But just 3 green alleys in the 15th ward where last summer's flooding occurred. The 9th ward doesn't have any.
Not every alley needs this green alley treatment. Some alleys just happen to have what we call sheet flow, where the water will drain naturally to a catch basin in the street or in the alley itself. But in cases where the water doesn't have anywhere to go, these green alleys are really helpful for those situations. As climate change gets worse, that might increase. There might be more alleys in the future that are needed.
And in a move that some say adds insult to injury, the Trump administration last month denied federal disaster funding to help Chicago flood victims, but approved similar relief for Republican-leading states. The city says it plans to appeal that decision. For Unit 32, I'm Dane Placco.